for each meeting. Agendas may be requested by email from the board secretary and also are available on our website. Agenda packets, due to their size, will not be printed off for the meetings or at public request. The public is welcome to download them and print at their own expense or read them online. During the course of this meeting, the public may be heard before a vote is cast by the board. President or presiding officer will acknowledge the public once a motion has been made and discussed by the board for their input. After that, the president or conducting officer will recognize speakers who raise their hand. Once recognized, the speaker should move to the side of the board table so that comments may be heard. And we ask that you please identify yourself by name and please spell your last name. You'll be allowed up to 3 minutes to speak. Each speaker will have one opportunity to speak on the agenda item. Once the public comment period is over, there will be no additional comments unless specifically requested by the presiding officer of the meeting. Is there any public comment on any non-agenda items? Seeing none, we will move on.
You gotta read my
That
packets.
letter that was dropped off.
Oh, non-agenda items, yes. We were,
I think that can go into the record. We don't need to waste our time reading it.
Yeah.
I think it should be read.
We have to read it out loud.
No, we don't.
No,
We've done
we
it
don't.
Yes, you
previously.
did.
No,
I make a motion, we
We have
don't
done
read
it
it.
previously.
I second it.
motion's been made and second to just put it in the record. Any discussion? Name?
It's public discussion, I mean, it should be read. We've read them before in the past, so I'm sorry if you guys don't believe that this is happening, but there's litigation that's gonna happen, and you should read it and make sure everybody understands it.
Any other discussion? Evelyn, did you get a copy of the?
No.
Here. All in favor of the said motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
No,
Let
as
the-
usual.
Yeah.
It'll be that way throughout the meeting, I guess, as usual. And I'll make sure that Mike Mackey,
Director Cabrera, would
Yeah.
you please go through the chair?
okay, Chair, I will make sure that Mike Mackey realizes that you would not read the public comment. If you would, Kate.
Thank you. It's in the public record. The board members have all read it. Okay.
You can skip roll call?
I got it down.
She took the roll call.
Okay, I can rip that.
Okay, approval of the minutes. We have a motion,
I will be accepting that. Second.
moved by Frank, seconded by Tom. Any discussion? Is there any public comment on the minutes from last month's meeting? Without objection, we will accept the board minutes as written. Okay, consent agenda. We have a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I have a question on the consent agenda.
Okay,
On the stifle report, it clearly shows we have a CD coming due, January 21.
okay, so you want that
Will we
separate?
be discussing that next meeting, next month, or do we need to discuss it
Do
tonight?
you want that separated out, Tom?
I just have a question. Are we gonna discuss that CD next month, or should it be discussed tonight?
Our next meeting is in January. I think you will have time, and we will have recommendations on what to do with it as well, so, yeah.
So, I have a question too. So there were payments to American Asset Business for 151 and 273. They weren't on the check register. What is American Asset Business?
Did it say anything on that?
Nope, because it wasn't on the check register. It was in the bank statement from First Interstate, but it wasn't on the check register that does have the explanation.
It was not in the expense statements,
No,
and it's American Assets.
yeah, American Asset Business. I wonder if it's paycheck, because there was also a check to Fisher, but it doesn't say paycheck, and I haven't seen that name before.
And it was for how much?
There was one for $151.39 and one for $273.57. And also, that didn't come across in Susie's bills either.
So want to separate the expense statement.
No, I just want an answer to it. So, I mean, it sounds like it can't be answered tonight, but if you could, I mean, I thought people would know what the bills are.
Well, we did not expect a bill from American Acid, so we'll look into,
Because it's paid.
yeah, I don't know.
Do you have a paid date on that?
I don't, because, 11/21.
Would that have been in last month?
It's in the First Interstate statement, which isn't linked on the consent agenda, but it is in the packet.
Right, but it would it have been approved because the statement is,
Yeah, but I've read them all. I mean, I would.
did you go back to
I-
last month?
There's actually three of them.
There's actually three?
Yeah, there's one for 81.31, one for 151.39, and one for 273.57.
And it's one was paid by iPay Solutions.
No, that's a totally different one. This is those three.
Oh, that's telling the truth.
Yeah.
My focus here.
I'll ask Susie in the morning.
One was 6/16/07.
I'll ask Susie and I'll give
Okay,
you an
and then
email after you.
email the board.
6/16.
Okay, thanks.
No,
That's two.
270.
This is totaling up your, that's the total for the deal. This is what each one
Yeah.
is.
273, 151,
And 81.31.
and 8130. So are we gonna hold the
No.
entirety of our expenses then?
No, it's not even on the consent agenda. It's just in the packet. So, no, I don't want to hold it. I just want an answer to the question.
Okay.
I move we accept the consent agenda.
Second,
Tom? Seconded by
Jeff.
Jeff. Discussion, if any? Comments from the floor? Seeing no objections, the consent agenda will be approved by unanimous.
Here, down to manager.
Down to manager's report, yes. Cole?
Oh, that little thing. But I'll try to be brief. I know we have a lot of subject matters to discuss and resolutions to be passed, so I try to be very brief. Number one, our employees, we have 9 employees, and we had no training during the month of November. Service line issues, we had 3, and no major one. John, do you want to add something to that, those 3?
2 were curb stops. One was main line on Caroline. That was over Thanksgiving weekend. It was a tree root had wrapped around the main and off the main.
That was a main out of service.
That was the main.
Way up north, correct?
Caroline, yeah,
Right.
so down toward, it's the gravel section north of, or east of the bike path.
And is that the same one that's listed as needing to be replaced in the next 3 years?
That was Cheryl.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about Cheryl later.
Okay.
So then we have another category which I added here because I think it's important, and that's the non-revenue water. You heard me talk about that, and that's I think it's a big opportunity for Heights Water to make our operation a little more efficient and perhaps more or safer too. So year to date, since July, we're talking about a loss of 13.6%. which isn't bad. Last year was about 11. Going back to 2022, the average was about 16.2, so we're doing better than the average. Nationwide, according to EPA, the average water loss is about 16%. And what's exciting here is that up to 75% of the water losses you can cure if you have an action plan that works. So talking about it is the first step. So what is it? How do you check for it? So I have a kind of a policy that I put together for non-water, where we're setting a goal of about 11%. And it's a 5-step approach, and I can elaborate on that some other day or send it to you. Now, as far as our revenue is concerned and meters, meters were down 6,075 from last month, but up 1.2% from last year. Why are they down? And I understand there's not a number of snowbirds that shut off their water and they go down south. And it was probably about 100 of those apparently in November that closed off their meters. Water sold in November was down 42% from October, which is a normal kind of a trend, and down 16.7% from November last year. But we purchased almost 28% less water than last year. Now our total revenue, it's in all your financials, but they were down 31.4% from October, which is also a seasonal swing, but up 13.4% from November last year. And what's interesting here, of course, is that we're getting so much more water per 1,000 gallons than we did last year. About 3,036 cents, so 64%. And that also follow a trend. We've been gaining tremendously in that sense. Let me go. Yeah, the current year-to-date income, 1.8 million, almost 180% higher than last year. Other highlights, the Montana grant, you heard we got 40,000 towards task order 29, the system ER. That was about 100. So we got a $40,000 grant, so we signed a number of papers you do. And I just signed yesterday to release those $40,000 towards work, which has now been completed. Educational training, we did have a management and board of directors training by Dan Clark. That was very interesting on December 11th. And I wrote down a number of things, and I could prepare a summary report from you because there was a couple of things in there that I think we had misunderstood, or our practice was a little different than he would recommend that we do. And then also software training. We had some training by
Well, we had the presentation.
And I think we have a proposed resolution on a quote, a presentation they have, which is somewhat scaled down from the original approach. But it's basically 3 components to it. One is the numbering of the system, of our pages, how you float them in and out of a file, so you can shift everything around without losing track
Yeah, we
of
can
the
get to that
number.
when we get to that.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can get in more detail on that. And the 401K, we will get into later on too. I have some details there. The engineering report, I will send that to you. We just got it, so we couldn't include it in the packet, correct? That's not in there. We just got it.
Engineering report.
It's just the
The
update,
monthly.
the monthly updates.
We get a monthly update.
Right.
And usually we get it the same day we send the packet to you. So we try to work on that to get it on a timely basis. But I will send you, we can make a note to send that to the board. And it has to do with the updating of the GIS system, the Mueller report, and the update on the northwest pressure zone and the transmission line. And as far as new item, there was nothing really out of the ordinary in that report. Also, what I follow every month is our top expenses above last year. You know, it's a routine. And water purchases, of course, is a big item because they have increased the rate, and that was up 26% for the month. However, for the year, about 5.4%. It was below our budget item, but that was number one item. And number two, water meter and maintenance. Water meter, we buy not every month, like twice a year. Josh, you buy water meter?
It's been more
Just
frequent.
Yeah. So that depends, and the big problem here is the lead time for some of this is unbelievable. I mean, talk about month. So we have to buy ahead, we have to build up our inventory. But it's not necessarily critical, and Josh is doing a great job, make sure that we have all the component parts in stock. And the utilities around here that have similar, they're very friendly, they let us borrow whatever they have when we're out of it, and vice versa, so no big issue.
Largest expense there is gonna be the electronics. We're starting to see, they're supposed to have a 20-year battery life. We're starting to see kind of a routine fail at 15. And we had the big change out about 15 years ago. So we're starting to see more of them every month we're having to replace. So that's.
I know you guys are very concerned about salaries. Salaries, 26,000 was 12.4% from last year. However, year to date, we're about 3% below last year. And budget-wise, we're about 6.9% below. So we're holding the line there. We're not hiring more people. When we hire them, we try to hire them at rates that mix in with our current rate, so that's not a big item. We did talk about some of investment. We'll get back to that. I have the audited reports here, and if I gave them to right now, you would not listen to Doug, so I'll give them out to you at the end of the meeting, if that's okay. Yes. But I did give you some highlights last month. And the big item, of course, is that water sold. We're up, our revenues are up 9.4%, and cash flow from operation was up about 36.5%. Coming from the private sector, cash flow is what it's all about. So we're doing well in that area. And a number of these items we'll be talking about in more detail as you go in on the agenda item. But overall, November was a good operating month. No disasters. Although I yield my time unless there's some questions.
Everybody knows I live on Wicks Lane where our city storm sewer project is underway. This week, I was amazed to find 2 fire hydrants that were dry. One they tapped into to supply county residents with water because they're dewatering for the project, ran their wells dry. They hooked to it, turned on the fire hydrant, no water. Had to go out in the street and turn the valve. The second one was right across the street from me. He added a valve so everybody isn't without water. They went to bleed it out the fire hydrant. It was dry. Turned the valve on in the street and they had a major leak. Had a busted line. Now, that's 2 fire hydrants, both put in at different times, that were dry. If there would have been a fire in that area, this is just unacceptable. How many other of our fire hydrants are dry? Do we ever check? The one that had the broken line across the street from me, I know was flushed a number of years ago, last century. I know it worked then, but to find it dry now, it broke, and we don't have a clue. I can guess it was broke when the sewer was put in because the sewer pipe had to go under it. When you dig under a pipe, you're good chance of breaking. That's 20+ years ago. How many other fire hydrants are dry? Do we ever test? Do we ever do anything to do with that?
As Tommy knows, I reported that in person, knocking on your door.
Yeah, I know.
So that will be in our December report, what the cause is. But you're close to being right as far as when it happened. But Josh and I were looking into that, and we cannot completely tell you exactly what went on. We know, you know, I was down there. I saw the pipe, and I know what some of the issues are. But I will report in more detail. I don't want to speculate on when it happened, how it happened, and all that.
Well, I'm just curious if we
Since you were in the
checked
window there, I felt I should report to you in person, which I did.
I have a question now to you. The city fire department goes around, they don't go around
Public
check.
Utilities does it.
Public Utilities does it, okay, so they do not check
The
the,
only time fire department does is if, have to be by park where they do hose testing.
Director Esmond.
Well, that was gonna be my question. I would like, the general manager to, we should get a count of how many fire hydrants are on the district system, and I think we should have some plan, since
Policy to test.
yeah, I don't know if we can get it done during the winter, or how much time it would take, but I think it would be a task worth doing, just so we don't discover huge issues the hard
Also,
way.
it's a big liability issue.
Correct.
for us.
Yeah.
So, we had one failure, most likely there are other issues on that street. So Josh and I, we talked about it, and if you don't mind, I'll give you a full report in the January, because this just happened 48 hours ago. So I do not want to speculate exactly how it happened, when it happened, but you are correctly right. You have to have a program to test the hydrants. That goes without saying. So there will be other things come out of this. But first, let's figure out what happened, rather than we have 7 different speculation on what needs to do. So this really was my November report, and we have other things happening in December. So without being fully prepared, I hate to tell you what actually went on.
Are those hydrants active now?
Yeah, that hydrant is active.
Well, the other one also?
It was
Well,
the same
probably.
hydrant, you're talking, it's the same one.
We
They tried hooking onto that one first, and we didn't know. That's the one they initially tried to hook onto for temporary water, and when that one didn't have, when they turned it on, didn't have water, then they moved down. We were unaware of that one being out, and then when they flushed, they found that valve was off because of the broken line. So it wasn't 2 hydrants, it was the same
No,
one.
there's 2. They put temporary water into 2 houses, 250 feet
Well-
east of me, 300 feet for a hydrant. And that one was dry when they hooked to it.
Director Esmond?
I just wanna be clear, my concern is not about the specific problem on Wicks.
It's
My concern is about the,
such a-
every hydrant that's on our system.
And I can answer that, we've talked, we got kind of a game plan in place. We're gonna start by Atlas page, we're gonna go around, mark, check each hydrant, take the opportunity to read GPS, update, we can operate them, make sure they're, do any maintenance that's necessary, record pressures. We have ideas in place.
Okay, so you're working on it, that's the main
Yeah,
thing.
and that hydrant would probably be flushed within an hour or two tonight when they bring Bam back on water.
And just,
Director Ellis?
I have just a couple, some background. There was a fire hydrant that was dry in Cherry Creek a number of years ago, and the trailer burned down. And
Yeah.
That's a private system.
Yeah.
I know it is, but same people apparently putting in the lines. So are we responsible when we find out, when it's in our system, is it us that needs, okay.
Yeah, no. So it's a big liability issue, and that's why we're very, very concerned. And that's why I was out there, and that's why I talked to you in person, because I want to make sure you knew what happened and that your house will not burn.
One last comment, Tom, go ahead.
We'll probably never understand why these two hydrants were shut off in the street. But I just want to make sure that for the district's liability, that we're checking hydrants somewhere around once in a while. Because these two hydrants, the one with the broken line was put in the 80s, I know that. The other one was put in about 2001, 2002. And it went in after the sewer line went in. So why? Two is really alarming. One hit and miss is still alarming for the liability of the district. If the one across the street from me at my house would have been on fire, I'd be shooting firemen to keep from putting water on my house. But with a dry hydrant, I don't have too much of a problem, so.
Okay, with no objection, the board will accept the manager's monthly report. We'll move to old business. Director Evo, you want to fill us in on the consolidation study?
The whole deal for the consolidation with the city's work order and the whole work starts on page 108 of your agenda packet. Everything I know about it is in there. So I guess after you read it over, you should have probably read it over before you came tonight.
Are there any questions relating to pages 108 to 139? Director Cabrera?
I'm sorry, there were two signatures on different, one was a memorandum of agreement between the consolidation and this one that's signed by Bill Cole. This one that was signed with the A through E indexes has nothing in there that shows that we are within consolidation. As a matter of fact, it's all geared towards the city. This memorandum, and I called Travis, I said, Travis, which one takes precedence over which one? We've got two signatures from the mayor on which one is the real partnership or consolidation, and both of them say that we have no partnership with the city whatsoever. As a matter of fact, in this one here that we did, and I put 30 different objections to this, and I was completely ignored when I sent it to you guys and to the people in regards to this thing. What we're looking at, there's only two sentences on this new one where it even mentions the county water board. The rest of it is all towards and geared towards the city. As a matter of fact, if you're taking a look at this, that's where the problems we're gonna have. We're looking at litigation from now until 20 years from now, if this continues to where it's going. I'm telling you, this is where we're going.
Director
So-
Cabrera, can you give me the line number or the?
I've
page
got them all
number?
right here, sir. I've got all of them right here, all 30 objections I have. Plus 5 major ones that I put on email to let you know about what I said, and I was ignored. And I'm on the committee. I don't understand.
Okay, I haven't.
The one
received-
meeting that I was
Mr.
supposed to
Chairman?
go, excuse me, I
I'll let him
agree.
finish first.
I'll agree. I missed the meeting. The meeting was put on 6:15 the day before, 6:15 in the evening. The meeting was at 10 o'clock the next morning. And I did not see the memo for that because we had a water board meeting the following day on there. So I missed the meeting, yes, but I was not given proper notice to be there. And then when I gave back my objections to these memorandums, both of them, I have been completely ignored in regards to that. And not only have I been completely ignored, so have the ratepayers that have been in this room. We had 7 of them that they didn't even want to do this consolidation or even look at
Okay,
it.
that's
Not
beyond-
even one of
Director
them.
Cabrera, that is beyond the scope of what we're talking right now.
No, it's the same
It
thing, sir.
is beyond the scope. Director Ewald, do you have a comment
So,
here?
which one are we gonna go with?
So the appendix A on them pages is the agreements that we got together when we had our meetings, our committee meetings. It was Director Essman, General Manager Bo, and myself. And Min was supposed to be there, but he wasn't. And it was a very workable meeting that we had. And that's where Appendix A is. You two both agree that that's what it is. And Heights Water District is mentioned in here way more than 2 times.
Take a look.
Director Cabrera, this, what you gave me here is your,
Those are my objections to appendix for A, B, C, A, B, and in that packet, they only gave me A, B, and E.
this we responded to before.
Nope, nothing, I responded after I received that package, and it was not, I was completely ignored on that.
We spoke on a phone call, Cabrera, and I told you that our attorney reviewed
No,
this.
this is the one-
The city's attorney
sir,
reviewed it.
This is the one the city reviewed,
Well,
and
you
that's the
didn't give me a
contract,
copy of
this was
that,
the
Mr.
memorandum of agreement between the city and consolidation. This was the one that's a work task order between the city and the engineer's report. There's 2 contracts out there. The MOA is the one that you had the
Okay.
attorneys look at, sir.
Okay.
And then this one, we didn't even have the attorneys look at all. So it doesn't matter,
Director
because whatever
Cabrera-
I say, you're not gonna listen.
No,
We're gonna have to
Director
wait for
Cabrera, are
litigation.
you gonna listen?
Okay, I
Will
will.
you listen for just a minute, please? We signed a memorandum, or the city sent a memorandum that they signed to us. We agreed to it after our attorney looked at it. And that took almost a month, back and forth.
What about this one?
Would you please let me finish?
Okay,
You've
go
had
ahead.
your time.
Okay,
After it was agreed upon, we did our resolution. In that resolution, and also in the agreement, it states that the city will hire Morrison Merrily. They will be responsible for paying for them. They will be responsible for the work order to them. Are you following me?
yeah, can I ask a question then? Why are we paying them $100,000 to the city?
We made the agreement.
Oh, we just giving them $100,000?
What,
Would
Doug,
you-
could I explain some? Jeff, we're at some of the earlier meeting, and I think Frank was too. This is a technical, logistic reason for this. Why? Because the engineering firm, M&M, said, you know, we cannot work with the Heights and the
Exactly.
city. Well, we gotta get the instructions, the payment, and that sort of thing. Not only that, but they have a relationship with the city, so it was kind of a natural thing. So, what ended up is that we have 2 agreements. We have agreement with the city, but the city have what they call a work order with M&M on this. So, we have the same understanding with the city as we had before. It's just that they have to have an agreement directly with Morrissey and Maryland, directly. So that was their request. We didn't request it. The city did not. There was a lot of discussion on this subject matter on the early meeting going back 3 or 4 months ago, Jeff. You remember?
Well, is that, the engineering company had a legal concern in terms of how the opportunity for doing the work was advertised. And from their perspective, they said we typically only contract with one buyer,
Right.
and then if the buyer, whatever the buyer wants to work out on the site is up to them. So that was the requirement of the engineering company for legal reasons that I initially resisted it, but once I understood it, then it was like, well, okay, you listen to what the other side, what the contractor's concern was. And if you do a fair job of doing that, then you have to address it. So, I think the process was proper. We knew it would cause concern on some directors' part, including you, Mr. Cabrera. And I brought that up at the time that decision was made, but,
But then when
it was the way to proceed. Because if you think about it from a biblical standpoint, no man can serve two masters. And that's where the engineering firm was. So I think everything is proper. This is only a process question. It's not a final question.
Can I just ask one thing?
We are
He said
very early in
He
a
said there was a
process.
buyer.
Director Cabrera, would you please let the other board members have a word?
Okay, go ahead.
Director
Well-
Espin, go ahead.
We are supporting an effort to buy information. That's what we're buying here, is information. We're gonna, whether, and I still say, I do not know what the outcome of this process is going to be, but regardless of how it goes, we are gonna have a much better assessment of the condition of our utility. Whether we consolidate or we don't consolidate, that will be useful information. We've received a lot of useful information lately. I've discussed it before the board meeting with directors reviewing. Some of it's kind of scary. So we've got a full plate of things to deal with, real problems affecting real customers, not these phony questions about whether contracts are done legally or illegally. I'm absolutely confident we're legal. So, let's talk about the real issues we have, including the condition of our pipes.
Okay. I am going to move the subject matter on back to the monthly report from Director Ewald. If you have any questions on that monthly report, I would allow Frank to answer them.
Okay, I have two things.
Director Ellis?
One is a compliment. I wanted to thank Frank, because Josh gave credit for putting this in the agenda. I think it's really important for us to be able to see the full amount. And honestly, because there is upset in the community, the fact that it's available for everybody to see, that there's nothing that gets people more upset than not being able to see stuff. So I really want to thank you. And I had a little bit of a discussion, but how much discussion has there been on task 4, the consideration of the feasibility of a partial consolidation?
Okay, we discussed that at 2 or 3 of the meetings, and we basically told them that it's next to impossible to do a partial because one side of the street's county, the other side is city, and you can't split the main in half and run water down one half for one and one half, but they still wanted to take and look at it so it could be documented, so I think there's like 4 hours.
Okay, so that
Maybe.
it's just.
And that's the only reason, because they
Okay.
want it documented in their report.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have a question for Frank?
No, we're not taking any action on this.
There's
You're
no
not
action.
signing any of this stuff or anything. This is
Nope,
just an
this is
agreement.
just a report. This is just a
Can we
report.
move on then, please?
Just one more. He has a comment on it. Public.
You will get to public comment, yes. Director Espin, final comment from you?
Well, the partial consolidation question is gonna focus on whether it is physically and technically possible. That's it.
Okay. Seems obvious.
Okay, we are going to move on and we'll go with public comment.
John Kanaravic, I heard about this about 5, 6 months ago, possible, and I'm interested. I'm not for it, and I belong to many small groups of the Heights, and talking with these people, and the consensus is no, we don't want it. But, you know, you're the board, and we need information, as Mr. Estman has said, so, you know, gathering information makes us stronger.
Yes.
What I've got.
Thank you, John, appreciate it.
Be right
One more question.
We've spoken a number of times, I'm gonna go to
That's how it
Greg.
always is.
I'm going to Greg, he has not spoken this evening.
The memorandum of understanding, as I read through it, is for a study only. And it says that there are multiple times that this does not implicate any kind of a consolidation. That's what the memorandum of understanding was. It says multiple times that this does not obligate either party to a consolidation. This is about a study. That's all it is. An engineering study.
Mhm. Thank you, Greg. Okay, moving on to employee retirements. Oh,
Yes, so we have a resolution to adopt the paycheck proposal. And I sent out some information. There was some question of who pays what and the overall cost. And let me recap that for you as far as. So currently, we have Fisher involved in managing the funds. Our employees like them. They've done a good job, one of the leading firms in the United States. So that component of the 401A retirement plan stays same expenses. And not only that, but that's actually paid by the employees through their transactions to a certain point. And then we have to kick in the difference to their percentage overall. It gets a little technical. By law, they can only charge our employees X number of dollars. And their fee is a little higher because of the funds and the number of people involved. So it cost us another $500. As a matter of fact, I think we just paid it $528. But the record-keeping costs, we will not have, and the TPA, that is the third-party administrator, that will be done by paycheck. So the total cost for the current system is about $14,500, of which half is the employee, $7,000. The new proposed paycheck is $12,000, about 12% below, $1,800. But Heights Water has a reduced cost of $5,300. So what I'm proposing is 75% lower than we're currently paying. Not only that, but our employees will have more options than with Fisher at lower cost. So it's a win-win to our employee. It's a win-win to Heights Water District.
do I have a motion on resolution 37-24? Tom?
I'll make a motion that we accept resolution 37-24 on retirement plan. Give assessors blood books.
Seconded by Greg. Discussion, Tom?
Actually, last month, we accepted Paycheck and Fisher, taking away Randall Hurley and the census out of the picture. What we're doing this month is adopting and amending the conditions of the 401. What we're changing is we're totally eliminating profit sharing. Profit sharing used to be a discretionary contribution by the district, which was supposed to be reviewed every year. If this fails, I'll be making a motion that next year we do not contribute a dime on discretionary contributions. This also changes are matching on the 401 from 50 cents on the dollar to $1 for dollar match on the employee's contribution up to 10% of their income, of their total pay. It removes lots of BS language, in my opinion, such as the district will only pay in once a year. Now we'll pay in every pay period, and the money's there. It was a condition that an employee had to work the last calendar day of the planned year to get the district's money. That condition is gone. That's headache material that we have tough time. So this amendment to the conditions eliminates the possibility of employees taking less. If they don't want to produce the 10%, they will see a reduction in the amount the district gives. But if this fails, there'll even be a bigger reduction because the whole profit sharing, I believe there's votes to end it and not do nothing next year. So I think this is great for all.
I just have a question. Tom and I have a disagreement about whether or not retirement money should be paid on overtime, since there aren't very many people that get overtime. And you had promised that you'd give us the data so we could have some information. We would have the data to have a discussion and decide on how many people are getting overtime and how much money it's come to for the year.
Well, they're pretty much all getting overtime. Why? Because they have, when they're on their shift, they get paid for that weekend, Josh. And that's overtime paid, so they all get paid a certain degree. As far as overtime paid in 401k, historically, they've always been paid their retirement matching funds on the overtime. So on the gross pay, what they earn, they get the profit share. And that's the way they contribute too. It's on their, like their 5%. What the 5%, if it's a net straight or gross pay. So historic, we are not changing anything. If you propose to change the current summary plan description, we have to open up this agreement. But the answer is they all get paid overtime.
Question, Bo, if that's the case, and their paycheck has the overtime on it, how do you, where does the line get drawn for the 10%? Up to 10%? Because
It's
that
on the
keeps
fund.
growing, it keeps growing, so how does that, how do you shut that off?
Well, 10%.
No, it isn't.
Oh,
10% is up to this point, they're contributing.
Yeah, but
When they hit it, they stop. Now their income has increased because they got more overtime.
yeah, but it's still only 10% of what they earn. They earn.
So
And I'm
are you telling me that it's last year's income?
No.
So
No,
how
Per
do
pay
you,
period.
We don't
Can
differentiate.
Per
We
pay
don't-
period.
per pay
Yeah.
period, but how
Per pay
can some,
period. If their paycheck has overtime on it, overtime
Right.
counts for the percent,
So-
counts for theirs.
October, November, December, we're doing construction. And all the employees have a tremendous amount of overtime. So they hit their 10% back in May. Are we opening the door up again?
No.
You're not talking about an annual gross, it's
No.
gross per pay period.
It's gross per paycheck. Well, if
It's
80
not
hours.
10%
retroactive.
of
It's
your
not
gross
retroactive.
paycheck is gonna be 10%, I don't care if there's overtime on it or not.
You're not
If we
talking,
don't pay after 10% on any paycheck, if the employee wants to put in 13%, fine, the employee puts in 13, we're only matching
Okay, so
10%.
10%
There is no change.
match.
Each pay period. So there's no, you're gonna hit your 10%, no. It's each pay period. If somebody is sick and on sick leave and didn't work, they didn't get a gross check, they don't get 10%. It's on each paycheck.
I understand that, Tom.
So there's no
Director Esmond,
gross.
Are the vesting provisions in this plan in conformance with federal law?
Yeah.
That's, you have reviewed that?
Yeah,
and they
that's
are
pretty
in
strict.
compliance with.
Yeah, that's pretty strict,
That was
actually.
my question.
Director Eagle.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So the way I'm understanding this, we're going from a 50 cents on a dollar match to a dollar match. We're doubling what we're giving everybody.
No, not really. We have, like Tommy explained, the profit sharing, well, we don't make profit here. So, but that's what the terminology was. So it was separated. Now, none of our member on the board have seen a statement from one of our employees, a quarterly statement on the profit sharing, but it lists what the profit sharing component is and what the other matching component is. So now it will just be one line, and that is the employer's voluntary contributions. It will not be profit sharing. So the dollars and cents would be the same under this plan as in the previous.
But previous was 5% profit sharing, 5%, and we paid 50 cents on 5% and 50% on the other 5%. So it's like 50 cents on 10%.
There is a difference here, because if you don't, like poor Jen will lose out on us, because if you don't put it in, you don't get it. In the old system, you didn't have to put it, still got it. So there is a slight difference here. Unfortunately, it hurt Jen, but that's how the system is.
Director Ellis.
So Frank, I've got the data. So we have two people that have been deducting 10%. So in the past, they got the 5% for doing nothing, and then they got half of, and then they got 5% for their matching their 10%. They're gonna get 10%.
There's nothing to,
Nothing changed there. We have two people that are donating 5, they'll go down, because they'll lose that 5% that's unmatched. So they've been getting 7.5, they'll go down to 5%. We have two people that are contributing above 10%, and they'll get so person who's doing 12 would getting 5% plus a 6% match. Now, he'll lose a percentage, because now he's only gonna get a 10% match.
No, that's not really how it works.
He's only got this 50, sorry, he still only got 50%.
Right, but he got 5% free,
But
and then
up to 10.
and then he got, oh, okay, so it didn't, but anyway, it's essentially, for people that are donating, that are putting in the 10% or more, they're gonna come out the same. And honestly, if you're putting in less than 8% for your own retirement, you're gonna be in trouble. I mean, people need to put it in.
Tom, go ahead.
I hope everybody understands. The district was, on discretionary, giving 5% of an employee's gross pay for retirement. Plus, they would match 50 cents on the dollar up to 10% of gross pay. So if an employee put in 13%, we match that up to the 10%, not up to 13, at 50 cents on the dollar. But we also give them 5% up to the 10% of pay as profit share. So that person put in 13%, the district put in 10%. A person that only puts in 7% on 401, the district would match at 50 cents on the dollar, or 2.5% of their pay, up to 10,000, plus give them 5%, which is 7.5%.
One last question, go ahead.
Okay,
Comment.
so I'm having a hard time figuring this. So let's just take $500. I'm putting $500 in. And you're gonna match that. It used to be at 50 cents. So that would be $250. Today, you're putting in $500 for that same $500. So it's costing more.
But you're not giving them 5% for nothing. Nobody gets 5% retirement if they don't kick in 5%.
Right.
And that's what they were in the
Pay to
past.
play.
First off, Frank, we don't
Okay.
know what your $500 represented. Like I said, we was paying 5% of gross pay to a retirement plan, even if the employee did nothing. So now, if the employee does nothing, we do.
Director Esposito.
Well, I think it's a good policy to encourage employees to save for their retirement. That's a good policy. I would hope that perhaps the general manager might bring to us a suggestion that new employees coming in have a default contribution. A lot of companies are going to that. I think that would be a good way to get them started.
We'll move to public comment. No public comment?
Yes.
Oh,
Hi,
go ahead, John.
I'm sorry, John Katarevich. Yeah, I'd like to, I've listened to this and I've participated in these plans, and I agree with Ms. Ellis. These people need to be encouraged to save because it's getting nastier and nastier out there to try to retire. And this Franklin plan, this is a good plan. I've looked at this. Anyway, that's all I got.
Thank you, John. Okay, we'll do a voice vote. All in favor of Resolution 37-24, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion passes unanimously. Okay. We'll now move on to item number 3, adopting the County Water District Building Site System-Wide PER. And that is Resolution 3824. Tom?
Now, I'm gonna start off by making a motion that we adopt all 4 resolutions. One is to adopt the PER, one is to adopt the environmental statement, one is to start work on the projects for fiscal year 25, and the other is for, did I leave out?
SRF.
Water redevelopment.
Oh, getting state grants and whatnot.
Yes.
I'll make a motion, we adopt the 4 of them as a package.
May I interject a technical thing? In hope that you guys, when you throw your vote, that you understand that voting for this doesn't mean you're committing to it. We still have to have public hearing and filing, so you are not financially committing yourself. So why are we doing this system PER? This is how we obtain financing. People need to know in the financial world that we are up to snuff with our regulation and that we have a plan to move the Heights water, do the necessary capital improvement and all that sort of thing. So this is more or less approving the engineering work that has been done. A lot more engineering work involved with each one of these things that needs to be presented to the public. So I just want to throw that in because for information purposes, that we are not committing ourselves to do these things.
Looking for a second.
Second.
Gregor seconded.
I was just gonna
you wanna
piggyback
follow
on what Bo said by, approving all of them, especially the one concerning starting the projects. That's not a blanket okay for the entire PER.
Right.
Any project that's in there is just like any other project that's brought to the board. It has to be done by a task order. The task order has to be approved by the board before any work can start. So it's not just, this is not a blanket, free-for-all, blank check.
Director Esposito.
Well, I'm gonna oppose passing all 4 as a unit because I think that is in violation of proper adoption of resolutions which require individual consideration. If it was proper to combine all the concepts in one resolution, it should have been brought in one resolution. It's not, so it had to be put in 4 separate resolutions. So I think they should be taken up one by one.
I'll withdraw my motion to satisfy Director Esposito. I
Thank
think
you,
he's
sir.
got a legitimate point.
That's good.
If you'll withdraw your second.
I have the same objection, so I'm good.
I'll withdraw the second.
Okay, so Director Essman,
I
your
move for
vote.
adoption of resolution 38-24, which adopts the PER.
Okay, second on that,
Second.
Director Essman.
Well, probably for purposes of discussion only, I'm gonna make a substitute motion. I did hand that out to the board. Copies are here available for members of the public. My concern is that there have been efforts in the past, and in my year and a half on this board, I've heard, to this day, I don't know whether what I've heard is true or not, but I've heard allegations that task orders were adopted and signed, and there's no record of it, or we can't find it. And, that still remains unresolved in my mind. So I don't want any shenanigans like that occurring, very frankly, because it appears it may have happened in the past. So if we are going to retain the right to make these individual changes, I just would like to solemnize them, however the proper word is, sorry, so that it's clear we're gonna come back. Because as my proposed alternative, my substitute resolution states, we have received some information. It is quite concerning. It's, we need to take care of the problems that we're gonna be discovering in the next year. And I just wanna make sure that that effort continues. Now, I know it's not as sexy to replace 6 and 8 inch water lines as it is to build new water tanks and build new transmission lines. It also does not generate as much engineering work as building these sexy new projects. So I just don't want to have any ambiguity left on the table here tonight that we're in a position that somebody 9 months can now say, oh, we already voted on that, we're going to proceed with this sexy project and not take care of replacing our pipes that are in bad shape. So that's the reason for my motion.
Resolution really says that we're accepting the PER.
And we're completely, yes. And
That's all it says.
And what I'm saying is that we also need to commit, and I'd like to hear that commitment tonight, that we are in fact gonna come back a year from now and review this PER and re-rank the items based upon the information we develop. I want that in writing, and that's why I brought this substitute in.
Is there a second for the substitute motion?
Yeah, Greg, second.
Greg's.
All right, I don't think this is quite clear, because it says, but with the intent to proceed only on the project selected for July 25. It says proceed. It shouldn't say proceed with the projects, it should say commence the process to proceed. Because that's all we're gonna do with the other one. Each project will take a task order. And to say we're gonna proceed and approve task orders in advance like this, I can't do.
So Tom, can you be specific about what paragraph it's in?
Yeah, it's in the big paragraph near the bottom that starts,
Okay.
now therefore be it resolved. It says,
Okay.
but with the intent to proceed only on projects slated for the 25 fiscal year. And that'd be the 26th fiscal year, excuse me.
Any other
We're
comments?
not gonna proceed with them projects, those projects have to come with task orders and stuff. So we're just gonna initiate the process so that we can proceed. Putting it in here that says, we're just gonna automatically adopt those task orders, it's just as bad in my opinion.
Thank you, Chair. So, the way I understand this PER, Interstate Engineering gave us this roadmap, and we can study this roadmap but we do not have to take the interstate. We can take a gravel road if we want to. And so, if by approving the PER, all we're doing is approving the roadmap that we've already paid for. So we take that, we got that, and that's a reference that we can go back to. It's like having that genie sitting in the window of your car when you're going in a big city, you say, oh, you went too far, make a U-turn and turn left. So there's, I mean, that's all it is a roadmap. And we use it for that, for information. And so I really think that we just accept the PER as is and then worry about the other stuff as we come to it. Like I said, you can take a gravel road instead of the interstate if you want to.
Yes, Director Esmond?
Well,
I'll begin.
I understand Director Zabuan's concern. My question, Tom, is if that's your only concern with this, what language would you like to have added to it so it's clear?
Well, just that we agree to commence the process to proceed with the 25. That's what the other resolution does. It just talks about the 25.
I would remove the
Nowhere
but.
does any of this say we're gonna, like Frank said, it's a roadmap.
Resolution
Nowhere does it say we're gonna follow this roadmap. This is a roadmap. And there's shortcuts, maps.
May I just interject a technical issue here? I heard you're not committing yourself here. It's a little more important than just a roadmap. Let me just read what Brad puts in his monthly report. The PER will serve as the active master planning document as required by DEQ and funding sources. So it's not just our looking in the glass thing, but it's required by DEQ and these funding sources. They want to make sure we are legit and that we have a plan. This is not a stop and go process, okay? It's not a stop. It's partially a roadmap, but it's more important than that. And DEQ required, guys, you know, you can't make these decisions here, interfering what's required for us to operate this district. You understand what I'm saying? We cannot get funding, and guys, you don't approve this.
Well,
Director Esmond?
I understand that, Mr.
Yeah.
General Manager.
Yeah.
And I respect that need.
Yeah,
And, you know, on the other hand, if we discover serious problems, and I think we have, you know, we have to have the ability to stop, to re-rank things, and to stop work on certain things if we're gonna take care of serious problems. So do you have a problem with that concept?
yes, I do.
Really?
Yes, I do.
So you're saying we cannot stop any projects if we adopt this PER?
Do you want me to reread what I just said?
No, I heard it.
It's a requirement by DEQ for us to have a system PER in place. Tomorrow, we can have a station blow up. It doesn't change any. What's important here is that we have a review of our facility, the condition of how we operate, okay? So, yes, it's part of a planning document, but it is a requirement, DEQ, and for these finance individual, the SRF, for us to proceed. I can send you these documents. You know, you are not committing yourself to anything by approving the system. And as far as the AC pipe, tomorrow we're gonna have something else. But guys, this stop and go has to stop. And I'm saying that as a general manager, I'm not a board member, but I try to run this outfit. You're sending these mixed signals without fully understanding the consequences of your resolutions. And I'm just telling you, from a technical standpoint, I don't have a dog in this fight. When I sit here, I represent Heights Water. I represent the people. They deserve to have a system PER approved and done according to DEQ and the state's requirement if we're gonna see funding, if you guys don't approve it, Josh and I, we cannot get funding.
Josh, do you wanna take on?
I just have a question. Are we still talking about resolution 38-24 that is adopting the
Yes.
DER?
Yeah.
Or are we talking about
We're talking
40-24?
We're talking 38-24.
40-24 is more relevant to the conversation you're having.
Yeah.
Well, my substitute motion, which has been seconded and is still under discussion, does in fact accept the PER. That's in this language. I can read it to you.
Right, but the resolution that we're on
Right.
only deals with accepting the PER. Once the PER is accepted, then those other resolutions become relevant.
Resolution 40-24 is the one that says the County Water District of Billings Heights authorizes procession of the 2025 water projects. The 38 is just the accepting of the report, and then that's why I say I think this conversation is more relevant to 40-24, not 38.
Right.
So, the PER, I think I heard here a meeting or two ago that we haven't had PER in 20 years.
Right.
So all of a sudden, this becomes a sacrilegious thing and we gotta do it because by God, that's what Brad says. Well, Brad doesn't always tell the story right. And DEQ, I know they require a lot of stuff, but how can we get by for 20 years without one and now all of a sudden we gotta have one that's so pertinent?
Okay, talk to the city. What did they ask for us? What did they ask? Our first meetings together, when is your,
That's because they knew we were already working on it.
right, but they need to know. But when they kick the tires, they wanna know what's inside. And, that report, this report, has nothing to do with tomorrow, has to do with
Yesterday.
exactly what is the condition. Conditions will change almost daily here, you know, with all sorts of pipes breaking, or we're finding all sorts of things. But we initiated this resolution some time ago. We got $40,000 from the state, and we're saying we're pooping our own engineering work. We don't like it.
That's not in this. I challenge what you say. That is not in this language. This accepts their report.
Well,
Please do not mischaracterize the
That's
right.
another resolution we have coming down the line. We have a bunch of resolutions
Okay.
on top of each other. Tom?
Right now, as Frank said, this is a roadmap, just like our CIP is a roadmap. Those projects all had a number and a priority. We've already changed that. Just because we accepted the CIP doesn't mean we're gonna accept the projects in that order or even start with it. It's a starting point, it's a roadmap. This is a required roadmap. How did we get by for 20 years? Well, before we started Task Order 29, we had Task Order 28, the Northwest Transmission Line. And that's got a PER asset proposition to it because we didn't have a PER. And without a PER, we couldn't talk to DEQ about funding for that Northwest transmission.
I'm not against the
So
PER.
there's a PER component of it to satisfy DEQ.
Director Esmond?
I'd like to, I would like, with the consent of the second, to amend this proposed substitute to strike the word but, strike the words proceed only, and substitute in their place the words commence the process to. So it would read, accept the County Water District of Billings Heights Water System wide preliminary engineering report of 2024 is prepared by Interstate Engineering with the intent to commence the process on projects slated for fiscal year 21 to 25, and to review the PER during the fourth quarter, to update and amend the PER as necessary. Period.
Is there a second?
My second.
Okay, Director Ellis?
I just have opinion, I'm really torn. I think the resolution is well-written, and I think the PR is terrible. This PR we paid $180,000 for. Laurel paid $54,000 for theirs. Lockwood paid $100,000. They both had to do water purification and sewer. But the most important thing is that there's error after error after error. They were required to send out letters to 1,000 people saying, here's what we're thinking about, what do you think? The city wrote back and said, Northwest Transmission Line is way too costly, here's an alternative. That alternative didn't get included. It should have been, it was part of the process, it should have been included. When they found out we were doing the ecologic study, they moved 100% of replacing the AC pipe to 2025 to 2030 and also left it in 2030 to 2035. That's $187 million. It's just, we're having problems heating Oxbow. We spent $137,000 in engineering
I
fees.
must remind the board members that we are not engineers. We
I
are
understand,
not-
but I'm not talking about engineering, I'm talking about there are errors. They indicate that that we lost 1% of the water in 1 year and then average it out and repeat that number, which brings our net. I mean, you don't have to be an engineer to see that number is false. They just put down stuff, they pay no attention. They put in that we sell more water than we paid for. They don't question it, they don't look for an error. I mean, I guess, I personally think it's shoddy work. And I understand that we need it for money, but the city contract that Frank put in says specifically, we'll look at the PER on the assumption that it's accurate. Well, you can look at it and see that it's not accurate.
They are staking their credentials that it is accurate at the time they did it. And please don't diss anybody that is working for us. That is not acceptable.
It's not,
It is not acceptable.
It's false, Doug, and so,
Bo, go ahead.
Pam, you remember when Lewis was sitting here, what did he say about the system here? You remember?
yes, I have all of his comments included. He had a ton of things to say that were not included in, and typically you would include in your appendices public comment, written public comment, which they did not.
That was the purpose of the meeting where he was. How can they make public comments before the public?
But typically they put it in appendices, and they didn't. He emailed it to everybody, and they haven't.
His comment was that the report was very well put together.
Tom, you had,
I disagree.
we're gonna move on real quickly here, so go ahead, Tom.
Well, I still have a problem. Why do we need to review the PER quarterly? It's a preliminary engineering report, and if you want an ultimate, it can change every month. We're gonna find things, I think, yet tonight that are gonna contradict the PER statement.
That's right.
I don't want to have to review this PER every quarter and hire an engineering firm to do it. I want this PER to be intact and viable for as long as possible until we need to do
We'll allow
another one.
one more comment, and then we're gonna move to public comment. Director Essman.
As it's drafted, it only requires one annual review in the fourth quarter of next year.
Public comment. No public comment? Do a roll call vote.
So we're gonna vote on,
We are voting on the amendment that's on the floor.
The substitute motion.
Substitute motion.
Well, there's an amendment to it to strike.
I got the consent of the second
Right.
to
So,
amend
It's
it,
all one.
so it's just a substitute
Yes.
motion?
Yeah,
Yeah.
with the changes.
but he's amended the substitute. He doesn't amend.
Yes, I can read it
Yes,
completely
why
if
don't
you'd
you
like.
read it, then everybody will
Yeah, the-
understand.
The first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 paragraphs are unchanged. The final paragraph beginning, now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Directors of the County Water District of Billings Heights, Yellowstone County, Montana as follows. Accept the County Water District of Billings Heights Water System-wide Preliminary Engineering Report of 2024 as prepared by Interstate Engineering with the intent to commence the process on projects slated for fiscal year beginning July 1, 2025, and to review the PER during the fourth quarter of calendar year 2025 to update and amend the PER as necessary. Period.
I still haven't, can I ask a question?
I'll take one question.
Are you combining resolutions 38 and
No.
40 then?
No.
I'm not.
No.
This is a substitute motion.
This is a substitute motion for resolution 38-24.
May I ask Josh a question?
January 1, 2025, so that
So Josh is
Could
right.
I- Could I ask Josh
That's
a
what
question?
Go ahead.
I think that our board misunderstand what a system.
No, I think they,
Snapshot in time.
I think Frank
Correct,
has a
but
good
it's-
idea, he has the general.
It's
idea.
not
They
that
do.
it's something that's updated annually, okay? It's not.
But if Director Esmond
Right.
wants to go, have the board go back on the fourth quarter and review, not have an engineer review, but have the board review. One, you better not complain about time again, and two, that's the way it'll be,
Yeah, but
1
that's-
year.
But that's a roadmap.
I think it's
That's a
just they're seeing
roadmap.
how far down the road
When
they
we
went.
go to DEQ,
Continuing
say,
knowledge.
where is your system-wide PER? You know, where's your report?
And we are approving it. It says right in
Right.
here that we approve it.
You will
And it
approve,
says, basically, after that, the board intends to consume, or commence with the process on the project slated for this year, beginning July 25th.
yeah,
And review, the board's gonna review, nobody else,
Say
just the
that.
board.
Where does it say that?
Who in the heck else is gonna review it? This is what it says, and review. I'm not changing any words. When it says, with the intent to proceed only on projects slated, that means the board is intent on proceeding with that. And it follows up, and to review the PER during the fourth quarter. So that is all board action, has nothing to do with the PER that is being approved right now. And this is the second time this has come before the board. It should have been an easy go. It has not been that way. So we will take a roll call vote on the substitute motion.
Greg,
Yes.
Pam,
Say yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Tom,
Yeah,
Ming,
No,
Frank,
Yeah,
Doug.
No. Amendment has been approved. Now
what was the
substitute
vote?
motion.
the substitute motion was approved.
By what vote?
Tom withdrew his
Two.
motion.
4-2 against.
Just two against, I thought you were, no.
I
Tom?
was.
I was, and Ming was. It was 2 against. Now we'll go back to the original,
Tom withdrew his.
Jeff had a substitute motion.
Which we could just pass.
that
No,
we
it was
just
just
passed.
a pass.
Now we have to go back to his,
Original now.
Jeff's original motion,
As amended.
as amended, yes.
Oh,
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
aye.
2 noes, Tom and Ming. Motion carries. Not have a dentist.
Word is gonna be yours now.
Okay. We'll now move to resolution 39-24.
I move for adoption.
It's been moved to adopt, resolution 39-24, seconded, moved by Tom, seconded by Frank. Discussion. Being no discussion from the board, public comment? Being no public comment? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Resolution 39-24 has passed unanimous. Moving on to resolution 40-24.
Move adoption.
Been moved by Director Esman, seconded by Greg, to adopt resolution 40-24, and that's on page 48 for your review. Frank?
We've already adopted that, pretty much.
It's part of the first resolution.
Now,
As part of the first
Yep.
resolution, so
Yep.
this is just restating something that's already been adopted.
yep,
That is why you had separate resolutions.
That was my point.
We are redundant now.
well, there's no reason to have it, so
Yeah, we don't need it.
it's
But we
already
just
included
skip it?
in this one.
It's already been approved.
That's what makes it different when we jump over
It's
things.
one less thing you have to sign.
Discussion. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any more discussion?
I just,
I'm gonna vote.
we already have it on 38-24, so I'm gonna vote no on this, because it's already in the resolution.
Any public discussion? All, oh, Frank?
Can I ask you a question,
Yes,
Chair?
you may.
Okay, so if we vote no on this, and this is for Bo too, if we vote no on this, what happens? If we vote yes on it, it's redundant, but at least it covers that resolution. So give us your most sophisticated opinion.
What will happen is that with this project, they will come back to the board,
Yeah, that's right.
and you pass a resolution, and they have to go before the public. And that's why I'm saying, I hate to repeat this, but the PER is not a roadmap, it's how it is right now. It's a hard document for DEQ and the financial people to know. Oh, we updated last month, here's a new one. No, that's not how it works with these financial, with DEQ. And you take these snapshots. And this, I don't think you need this, because once we come up with these proposals, it'll be presented to the board for a vote financially, environmentally, and everything else. So I don't think you have to commit
Well, I
yourself to
think to
this
answer
one.
Frank's question directly, if you vote no on this, that would contradict
Right.
resolution 38-24.
No,
That's
you
correct.
just, you just wipe it out. I don't like the wording in this, I don't like the way it's written,
Well, that's,
so,
I
and
would
I
take
like
it
the way,
out.
and I like the way
Take it
40
out.
was
That's
written,
what I wanted
so,
to.
Yeah.
39.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's always safer to have belts and suspenders, so I think we ought to go ahead and adopt it, because it would remove all doubt with whether we're gonna proceed with the 2025 projects, so.
Okay, all in favor of resolution 40? What, you want another comment?
You didn't give me a yes or no.
Well, but Jeff is correct, I think.
We have to
Which
adopt,
guys-
we have to
which
say
guys-
yes.
Yeah, it sends the right signal about our intentions.
Can you, I'm very.
Tom?
I'm like Frank, if we vote no on this, then somebody can say we voted out of the other one, so
Right.
I'm gonna vote in favor of it. I think it's redundant.
Director Cabrera?
Okay, I see what you're talking about in regards to doing this way. My question is, when we come back to 38-24, we're overseeing what the engineers are recommending and what the DEQ is saying. Am I correct on that, from what I'm reading? Is that how you're reading this at this point? In other words, everything that goes 38-24 will have to go before the board and not
Correct.
with a recommendation from the, well, regardless of what the engineers say.
You get a second shot.
Yeah, okay. So in other words, it could just
Right.
go up in all of our faces.
It's when you take the gravel road.
All in favor of resolution 40-24, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Okay, resolution 41-24.
Move
We
to
accept
adopt.
it.
Been moved to accept by Frank,
I second it.
seconded by Tom. Discussion. This resolution authorizes applications to the Montana Drinking Water state revolving fund. Yeah,
I've got two questions. One, who's preparing the application? Because in the past, we keep paying Interstate Engineering, and it seems like all the data's in the district. I don't know why we have to pay an outside group. And the other thing is, why are we authorizing the president to sign something that the board hasn't seen? Seems like he'll have the application and bring it back, and the board approves it or doesn't approve it, which I'm assuming they'd approve it, but.
okay, I will answer both those for you.
Okay,
We don't have a grant writer on staff, number one. Number two, I have a motion to amend striking Doug Carey president and inserting Bo Anderson general manager. I think that was just an oversight. But that is meant to bring it back to the board. The board approves it and tells the manager to go with it.
I guess I don't understand the sequence.
The sequence is, the engineers apply for the grant, because they have a grant writer on staff. Grant writers are not cheap. So they get the grant, they submit it. After they run it through us, they submit it, and it's approved. They get it back. They bring it over here to get board approval. We approve it, and the general manager initiates it.
Just authorizing a grant to be written.
Just authorizing the grant to accept the grant.
You'd be surprised all the paperwork and all of that $40,000 we got. I had signed about 3 documents about a month ago, and I signed 2 to release the funds today, plus a spreadsheet. It really is a profession, grant writing. I've been there before, trust me. If you really want the money, you need a grant writer.
Just one question.
Discussion?
Yeah,
Cabrera.
so by removing your name on there, Doug, the authorization will still come back to the board, am I correct? And then he will submit it, or how does that?
It just says that the manager is authorized to submit the application to the state drinking water, state revolving fund on behalf of the county district, and to act on its behalf, provide any additional information.
So you're just
Because if
asking
they're
for
gonna
that?
ask me any additional information, I don't have all the records that are sitting down here at the office, and I don't really feel like running down to the office and digging. Yeah, I'm lazy, I'm sorry.
So, yeah, this resolution has no financial commitment.
No,
Okay.
Being I made the motion, is that, you want that to be an amendment to the motion? Will you strike that name?
yeah, I was gonna move that, but you're welcome to do that. Go ahead.
Okay, so I will amend my motion to say that the person in charge will be Bo Anderson, the district manager, and it will replace the words that say Doug Carey, district president.
I second that.
Move by Hank, seconded by me. Any discussion? Any public discussion? No, all right, thank you, folks. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye. On the amendment.
Now we'll move to the original motion as amended. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Okay, number 4, environmental review.
That was already taken care of.
That's where that.
that's just got the
we
environmental
approved it.
review statement,
Yeah,
it's just
that
information.
explains that, yes.
Okay, then we will move to new business.
Civic Plus.
Civic Plus, the Board of Directors meeting software. Resolution 39-24,
42.
42-24?
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, you are, I know Pam is very familiar with Civic Plus and our current software on our webpage and how that works. It's a great software program. And we have looked into adding on to it for the agenda and the meeting package, putting together agenda and all the documentation in the packet. numbering, sorting, selecting it. And another very, I think, interesting option for the board is you will have a search. You can go in and look at, let's say, AC pipe or something, and you can search those documents and they will populate your finding. There are a few other features that I like to highlight.
I have a question for Bo. It says we have an initial investment of $6,000
Yeah.
plus an annual fee of $6,300. So does that mean we'll be paying $12,300 for this first year?
Yeah, the setup is expensive, annual fees are expensive, and then there is an upcharge of 5% a year. So I have not get a result on that 5% upcharge of the built-in price increase. So I don't think that's acceptable to any company where you have the built-in pricing. I have not received a response yet to that request. But for what this program is doing at 6,000, Josh and I, we talked about it. Yes, it's cumbersome to do what we're doing. Yes, we make mistakes, and I apologize for those. Will we make more mistakes in the future? It's very likely the way we're doing it, but we can do it, and we're getting better at it. We have a better system. Does it take a long time? Yes, it does. But even with this new system, it basically works the same way, Josh. We're dumping it into one file, and then we massage it. So what Josh is doing actually is, he has two screens. So we have the PDF, so he float them around to rearrange it. Last minute changes, normally we attach it at the end. But paying $6,000, $12,000 year one to do what?
Automatic page number.
Yeah, so, and I like, from the board's perspective, the search would be a great thing. But we can help you with searches if there any information that you require on a agenda item or that's covered in an attachment. We'll be happy to send you that. Paying that kind of money, so it's what, $500, $600 a month?
Tom?
I'm confused. You brought this to us, so I'm assuming you're in favor of it, but listening to you, it doesn't sound like you're in favor of it. So is this worth the money?
We were requested to look
The
into
board
it.
had requested something.
We were requested.
Oh.
There's a lot of software out there, and based on what we have seen, this probably is the best software. There's no question about it.
Well, it
What
ties
is
in with
the
our
value
current-
proposition, you know?
Tom? You have another question?
Have we received enough requests for information that we need this software to answer these requests? Or is this just, I mean, I like what you've done with the agenda packet where I don't have to go page by page to find things. I don't know what this is gonna do. I don't understand the search. I'm not computer friendly. I don't know how to search and stuff like that. They're hunting packs.
We
I'm
did-
a horrible computer operator.
We did a terrible job in the beginning, and I think that's why Pam brought it up. And Pam is very familiar with this program, and the city has a scaled-down version of this. And it's the #1 for utilities. So this company is definitely it if we're gonna do business with them. But I think the way
Well, I think
Josh.
this is the scaled down version. Remember initially?
Yeah, that was 9,000.
Initially, they pitched us one that was 9,000 that had a minutes component and like a
Voting
voting
component.
component.
You know how you guys vote. We can take
Director
notes.
Well, you know, this is about a $4 million operation. So this, in the scheme of things, it's it's a small element of that gross budget. I do think because we're public body and we've got major decisions coming forward, that we need to make it as simple as possible for the customers and the voters of the Tidewater District to be able to find information. And I think this is a step in that direction, so I think it would be improve our operation.
Director Cabrera?
I'm just wondering, did we hear from Civics Plus? Did they come forward and talk to us about their program?
Yeah, oh yeah,
When was that? I can't,
the 11th of December.
oh, so
It
that
was-
was that one meeting?
Oh,
Okay.
no, it was the
It was
same
just
day,
one,
but
yeah.
was a different time. And I looked at their video, but Josh and Jen has been involved. They had a automatic minutes function too, that was like $2,000. But if you wanna consider this kind of a program, this is probably the brand, the company to deal with.
Okay, Gregory Wolf?
Thank you, Chair. We can try this for a year and then we can drop it, no penalty.
I think so.
There's an automatic renewal. Renewal procedure, automatic one-year renewal term unless 60 days provided prior to the renewal.
So if we tell them 60 days before the automatic renewal.
Well, you're basically, the first year's gonna cost you $12,000.
We currently pay Morrison nearly $780 a month for computer work. We have bought Black Mountain software, and that cost us a few thousand a year. We had, God, I can't say it, this Office QuickBooks, which costs an annual yearly thing.
Not anymore.
I think our IT expense is already pretty high. If we're not having problems getting the information, why do we need more computer software?
Well-
This is $1 a year for every customer, because we only have 6,000 customers,
$2
and
the
we're
first
already
year.
paying a bunch.
Director Ellis?
What we had, when we adopted the website and the agenda software before, we looked at three different companies, we got all their sales pitches, we called their references. We didn't go with Civics Plus, we went with Municode. And Municode, was like $2,000. I mean, it's nothing like this. And the software is so easy to use.
That's what our website is. Unicode
It
is
is
6
Unicode.
plus.
Okay, so maybe they combined since then, because it
They're
was,
the largest, and it dovetails with what we're doing, so, if you're considering anything like this, would definitely be the company to go with, because it does
but
tie in
the
with
prices are
what
up
we're
6
doing.
times in 2 years. I mean, it just seems ridiculous.
Okay. Director
Yeah,
Brown?
and I'll back Director Ellis on this, because we looked at Municode, we called Laurel, we called Livingston, I can't remember who else we called in regards to this, and for the systems that were out there, we're not Billings, I'm sorry, but we're still a small place to spend this kind of money, when we do have Municode, and really, we don't have a lot of problems that we have. We've got Blackstone, we've got, what do we got, Microsoft too? Is that one still on, two at the same time? But when we looked at Municode 3 years ago,
What,
it was fine. I mean,
Yeah, you mean
and I
their
think we can
email.
go with that. What was that one, Josh? The other,
The Microsoft, well, that's the email, the Microsoft 365 or 360, whatever.
Yeah,
it is.
360?
yeah, 360. So, I know we went over and over this, and I just can't think of $2 per household for this thing. It's a lot.
I think bottom line for Bo and myself, it really won't change anything, because we're still gonna be dumping files into a program, and then there's a learning curve with the program. I don't know that it's gonna benefit us necessarily.
and going back a couple of, we had big times problem, as Pam knows, with the page numbering and all that. But we're very proficient right now, I think. We have a system that works very much better. But in the past, I mean, Yes, it was very cumbersome. And I think we solved that, pretty much. But will we make a mistake? We might make a mistake here and there, but we're a lot better at it, than we were a couple of months ago.
What, make it big?
Yes, both, both,
You don't practice at it.
both.
You open that door.
Yeah, we have for it. But Josh, I think you agree with me.
Well, that's, I don't know, did the board have any complaints with the packet this month?
Yeah,
That's good.
it still skips. You've got steeple
Okay,
statement
we're gonna
page
move- we're gonna
30 to
move-
42, and
We're
then
going
you
to
skip
move
up to
public
56.
comments.
Yeah.
John?
No, I
Public
don't
comment?
broke I don't have
Okay. All in favor of
No
resolution?
motion.
Pardon?
No
We
motion.
need a motion.
No
Motion.
second.
There's no motion on it?
There's no motion.
There was a
Nobody
motion.
said
There's not-
motion.
we discussed-
Not a single one.
Okay. We're getting
I
good
make
at
a
this.
motion not to accept that resolution.
I'll second that.
Who seconded it, Mingo or me?
Oh, maybe. Okay, all in favor of not approving resolution 39-24,
No,
please signify by saying aye.
42-24.
42-24.
Me second.
Me.
42-24.
I thought, but that's okay, it don't matter. We'll move on.
Okay.
39-24 for 12.
42
39, 24?
It's
or
42,
42.
though.
Oh, it's at 42.
Either
It's
one.
numbered in,
They're both the
Numbered
same.
incorrectly.
it's numbered incorrectly. What's on the packet is numbered incorrectly.
What's 39?
Did we vote?
Yeah, it was unanimous.
When I wrote the resolution, of course, the 39
Yeah.
page.
Yeah, didn't you? You're-
It was unanimous.
I didn't hear the eye, but that's okay, it's always unanimous.
Glad it wasn't just me.
Yes.
We
have-
already
I know,
did 39-24.
It's-
It passed.
What's in the packet is incorrect.
It's 42.
This is 42-24.
Oh, 42-24, yeah.
Okay. Ecologic pipeline survey.
We haven't voted
We
yet.
haven't voted
We
yet,
haven't
Mr.
voted.
Chairman.
Okay, I was just hoping, I guess. All in favor of not approving resolution 42-24, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
No?
No, you didn't
No.
call for
You
nays.
didn't call for
Oh.
names.
Are there any nays?
Nay.
Two.
It passed.
Okay. It's ecological pipeline survey resolution 43-24. Is there a motion to move resolution 43-24?
I move to accept resolution 42-24.
Been moved by Frank to approve resolution 43-24. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by the Gray or Tom, either one. Discussion. Frank, want to discuss that or no?
No, I've already discussed as much as I can on it.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Frank.
For the general manager, will passage of this, there were some action items in this report. Are you intending to follow those action items? And if so, how will you present them to us?
Okay, in advance of this meeting, I sent you an AC pipe replacement project with Ecologic's 3 recommendations. And then what we came up with in a concert with Interstate Engineering. And we need a focused approach rather than gunsling the whole territory and focus on the worst possible test site, which we have identified. And I outlined that in my report on page 3, Cheryl Street. We have had 15 incident service issues on that street in the last 17 years. None of them have been the main other service connections. But what I understand, when they done service connections on that street, they discovered that the pipe might be a little soggy, right, Josh?
Not that we ever noticed, not on Cheryl, when we cut in valves, and that was a different one. That was Judith.
Oh, was it a different one? Okay. I thought somebody told me that. Anyway, we haven't had any main line issues. So, if we can just verify what Ecologic have told us, by really examining this pipe and send it to the three labs, and see if it is consistent with Frank's earlier tests, and I sent that along too. So verify the test result. One thing I'd like to do tonight is calm your fear that the Heights Water District is not exploding, okay? AC pipe, the worst possible case is like 30 or 40% used up, corroded. The safety factor on these pipes, and Josh and I, we have viewed John Mansfield's promotion videos going back 30 or 40 years, how the pipe was made, how it was tested, and that sort of thing. And by that standard, it has a safety factor of 2.5 to 3 times. So it's tested up to 600 PSI. So using that logic, if they say it's 30% based on original pipe specification, you can assume that that would translate into about 15% used up. That's one observation. The other reports I'm reading more and more about these AC pipe studies, that people are surprised how long they last. So there's very little material, white papers out there on disastrous AC pipe installations. And I have called a number of utilities in the Pacific Northwest and around here, and I do not hear any big issues. But I have heard about PVC pipe, large diameter PVC pipe issues. So I just want to caution you to let's operate based on facts. So we will dig up this couple of sections here, and we'll take out a 5-foot section, and in the process, if it's close to a valve, we replace the valve, so we won't waste the funds in exploring. But we will follow up based on this this project outline. And that includes also when we do this, the lab test, we look at soil conditions as well, and the installations. I don't know if you realize this, but the bedding of the pipe, when you put it in, is extremely important. And we want to know how it was put in, you know. Because if we know a certain contractor did that pipe and he didn't use the same protocol somewhere else, that's a problem. And that factor is large. So it's not just one issue we're dealing with here. And I think Ecologic, when we had our Zoom meeting with them, they also said that, you know, this is one factor. There are several other factors. So we will we'll follow through. So I will have a monthly report for you on this AC pipe, because it is potentially a really big issue.
My concern with those 9 sections where there, as you called it, there was a black hole in terms of information. Can we, I would like to at least dig up one of those. Just, I mean, my concern is they may be graded to the point there that's why the sound is not going through them.
In my
And
office,
that's the only thing that's been able to occur to my mind about why that could have happened. But maybe there's another explanation.
My problem is the only 6-inch pipe they tested is on Judith Lane, Sherrill, and Marine. Judith come back with no results. Sherrill and Marine got to be replaced, they claim, in 1 to 5 years. Now, the test spots on Sherrill and Marine are really close to Wicks Lane, where we had a piece of pipe tested last year, And that test come back, 30% of the calcium was gone from the wall thickness.
Yeah.
From the inside.
Sherrill and Marine Street show a pipe thickness degradation in the wall of 40%, not quite. Judith, we don't know, but I agree with Jeff, that's really scary, cause that could be even worse. And
Yeah.
let's be honest, 6-inch pipe is a bunch. of
Yeah, the
work
Judith
history.
Lane, an 8-inch was 38% according to this.
Yeah, so.
But I think we should let science talk, and once you have all the information, make the appropriate decision. What I try to tell you tonight, it might not be as bad as they say. Now, in my office, I have a new, I call a war map, and it has these sites all marked in. In addition to that, I have red flags, yellow, green, white, we don't know. If you don't know, I have to assume the worst. And it's a big section of Wicks, and we don't know why. Normally it has a PVC repair spot in it or something, but Josh, tell me, there is no repair with PVC on
Not
Wicks.
that not that I could find, and that's not to say that there wasn't
Yeah,
years and years ago, but
Board
nothing that I
members,
could
this
find.
resolution accepts the findings
Right.
as presented in Ecolog's final report. It doesn't say any actions, it says that
Okay.
we're accepting.
Okay, we're just
what we
accepting
did.
their, okay.
Nothing more.
Okay, we're not acting, saying, we
No.
need to change
If,
so many
if we
pipes.
did, if the manager decides to do a replacement project on that, that's another issue that comes back to the board.
right.
We cannot take a simple resolution with less than 10 words and make a big thing out of it. So we are voting or discussing, accept the findings as presented in the final report.
But
Director Esmond,
Mr. Chairman, my point is, I don't wanna be derelict in my duty as a director in not raising a concern that I would like the general manager and the staff to perform research on where we don't have any information, but we have great concerns. I just wanted to get it on the record.
Right,
I understand.
clearly understood.
We have a motion on that?
There's a motion on that. Is there any public comment on accepting the findings as presented in the final report for? Without objection, resolution will be accepted. Seeing none, motion accepted. Moving right along. Employee Christmas bonus and workman's comp refund packages. Resolution 4424 deals with the Christmas bonus.
Yep, these two agenda items was added because this time of the year, both of those items appear on the agenda, so.
Director
Ewald. Thank you, Chair. First, I'd like to commend Bo for working and for his employees, but we have a little bit of difference here, the separation between private industry and public industry. And in the public government, you don't get bonuses. Private, that's up to you if you want to give them. When I came on the board, I wanted to follow laws, and so the board of directors now receive $600 less a year than they did before I came on the board, because that's what state law says. So that's all and the people that pay these bonuses are our customers, who we're supposed to represent. And there's a lot of customers out there that live on meager incomes, and they probably don't even have health insurance, some of them. But yet they have to help pay for these bonuses, and so that's all I got to say.
First, can I get a motion to approve or disapprove resolution 4424? Tom?
I have a problem with the two resolutions. I don't have a problem giving an employee bonus. But I have a problem with giving an
We're
employee.
only gonna discuss one, and that's after it's been moved.
Well, like I said, I have a problem distributing.
Will somebody please move resolution 4424, or it will
I
fall
make a
from the
motion,
table?
I make a motion to, disapprove motion 4424 for the as stated, for the
Been
reasons
moved and
stated.
seconded to not approve resolution 4424. Discussion.
Is there a second?
Frank seconded.
Okay.
Discussion, Pam.
I mean, I agree with Frank. Most of our customers are, we have a lot of government employees who are city, county, school district, none of them get Christmas bonuses. We have a lot of seniors on fixed income, they don't get fixed bonuses. We have people that work in retail. I mean, we have people that are getting $31,000 a year in health insurance. They're getting a 10% match in retirement. $150 I see as something for people who are not working in a professional situation, frankly. And people here are getting substantial wages, incredible benefits. 6 people drive vehicles home, which their vehicles are paid for, their gas is paid for, their
Please
tires are
stick
paid
to
for.
the topic.
So, well, what I'm saying is this is just over the top and it's incredibly unpopular with the public. I mean, I've had more angry comments over the years about these 2 resolutions than any.
Director Zavon?
I worked for wages many decades ago. For Christmas, I might get a ham or a turkey. Then I worked at, I believe it was Lou Chevrolet, they called it then. And I got a basket with turkey, dressing, cranberries, yams, oh my God. I was excited, I was overjoyed, so was my wife, my God. But this is 50-some years ago, and that basket didn't cost 20 bucks worth of stuff. My God, that was impressive. That my employer thought enough of me to provide me with Christmas dinner. I still think that something like that shows that you appreciate your employees and is worthwhile. But I don't want to go over the top. I just want to say thank you for working for us. It was a wonderful year. I don't want to buy a family Christmas present. I want to say thank you for your employment for the past year. So I'll make a substitute motion that we give $75 as a Christmas bonus.
Substitution. Motion is made. Is there a second? No second, we'll move back to the original motion. Director Cabrera.
Thank you very much for giving this time. Anytime you can help your employees enjoy the work they're at, we need to. As a matter of fact, was it 3 months ago, we decided we wouldn't even bring coffee? You know, we had to throw in our own money for making sure they have coffee, and it was like, my goodness, you know, they're in a meeting and they're trying to learn something, but we're worried about their birthday. Come on, guys, I mean, $150 for the employees are a good thing, and it just tells you right there, thank you, that you've worked hard. I understand why nobody wants to be in government now, because of the fact that you put all these jurisdictions on them, what it is, but I'll just leave it at that. I'm going to vote for not rescinding this at all. I think it's a fair thing to do, and again, tell the employees thank you.
Any other comments from the board? Comments from the public?
Question,
Go ahead.
is this gonna be a withholding item or a not withholding item? So is $150 gonna be withheld on?
If it's a bonus, it would have to be.
It's with
Without.
Could I voice my opinion?
Yes, you may.
76-year-old guy, I ran my business for 50 years. And Christmas bonus is not a big thing financially. It was not a big thing, a big agenda item or expense item. But I'll tell you one thing. If you don't recognize your employee this time of the year for a lot of dollars you send to us, that will cost more than $150 to make up for a year. Just a thought.
Sir.
Okay, we'll take a vote, and the motion was to disapprove resolution 4424. Can do a roll call vote.
Greg,
Nay.
Pam,
Yes?
Jeff,
Yes.
Tom,
No,
Dean,
No,
Frank,
Yes.
Doug.
Yes. Vote was
43.
Meaning no.
Meaning no.
43, motion has been disapproved. Resolution 45-24, and this deals with the dividend dispersals from Montana Fund.
I move that we disapprove motion 4524. This was,
It's been moved by Pam, is there a second?
Could I make a remark here as well?
Until it's
Yeah,
been
because there is a
seconded.
reason for this.
I will second it for discussion.
Sorry.
usually
Okay,
the person that makes the motion gets to make the first comment, but
it hadn't been seconded, Pam.
I thought you just seconded it.
I just did,
Okay.
and I called on Joel because he has a comment.
Yeah, from a technical standpoint, if you're going back, I looked at all these resolutions and they always kind of, well, not always, they were recent, but I love this particular reason for giving the employees the bonus. Why? Because it's a pure reflection on how safe they did their jobs. You know, workman's comp, you have an accident or two that just screws up your premium for the next 3 years. But the team, our team, operate very safely. And you should see how they jump around in these trenches on these tractors. It requires a skill set. And when I say skills, they don't necessarily depend on a supervisor just standing there with a cup of coffee. They do it themselves. Why? They have, it's not just the smarts, but the passion for the job, the professionalism, and it shows. And the workman's comp is one area where it shows. So they know where the money's coming from. It's coming from good performance in the field, keeping accidents down. We haven't had a major accident in many years. So that's one of the reasons. I think that if you cut the Christmas bonus and this, you send a clear signal to my staff. That's gonna take time to work out, okay?
Discuss down.
This has only been in place for a couple of years. Again, this is what makes people even madder. But the resolution says, whereas having discussed the proposal from the finance committee, who's the finance committee on this board?
It was a temporary finance committee to start with work on the budget.
So this resolution is just lifted from the past. The other thing is, as it's written, every employee gets it, including you. You get $244.
I opted not to,
But that's not the way the resolution is written.
right, but I don't want any part of it, and I was overruled, that's all I can say.
Okay, well, I just think it's inappropriate. We give full family medical, dental, vision. If people are gonna behave unsafely and risk their bodies for $244, I just think that's ridiculous.
Director Esman,
The motion before us is to
disapprove.
disapprove this resolution. I think I'm gonna oppose the motion to disapprove, because I do believe in providing incentives to employees that are related to their work. That's what I did when I ran my small business, you know, and the incentives I had were based upon, you know, are you showing up every day? You know, are you calling in sick when you're not, you know? It was just strictly, you know, how much are you on the job and how much are you not? So I think this does provide some incentive to behavior, and for that reason I'm gonna oppose,
Go ahead, Tom.
not adopting.
I don't like this distribution because our employees didn't save us that money. A whole lot of employees in the state of Montana are responsible for this. It's not just our employees. But if they can't have a Christmas bonus, then I'm gonna stress and I'll be voting no on the motion.
What's
Yeah.
on the line here?
Thank you. We went through this last year as well, and looked at the workman comp, and, you know, if you've ever, I own a restaurant, and if you've ever seen what happens if they don't take care of safety, even carrying a knife properly. And somebody goes for stitches, you go up another 0.8% on your workman's comp. And that $244, it becomes $2,444 in the next quarter. So if these guys are practicing safety, let's do it. Otherwise, hey, bah humbug to this district board again, bah humbug.
Frank,
So, if we don't approve this, does that mean they're gonna go out and be less safe when they work?
Oh, that,
Is that,
No.
is that the threat we're getting slapped
No,
on us?
No,
I mean,
no, not at all.
That's your job, you're supposed to work safe, you're trying to keep yourself from getting injured. I worked on an oil rig. That's a really tough place to try and stay safe. And people work together to keep other people from getting injured on there. And we never got a bonus from the oil rig company for what they saved at the end of the year.
Oh, they do now. Most of them do now.
Okay, I would like to put in a substitute motion. And my substitute motion would be to direct the bonus, or excuse me, the dividends that we receive from the Montana State Fund into a safety equipment and safe behavior management policy program. Provide safety equipment along with the necessary sundry like cones, vests, strobe lights and stuff for the job site. More visibility of vehicles, safety shoe program where we will pay a portion of the shoes, safe kits for all vehicles as well as supplies. And our manager be responsible for coming up with this policy, as well as a yearly budget. Now, when I saw this, I went and looked at the Montana State Fund. I couldn't find the information I wanted, so I called them. There was a $43 million dividend divided up to all policyholders. And that's all different levels depending on the number of employees and the type of employees. County Water District is currently paying $5,948 for our premium in 2024. Our premium for 2025 will be approximately $4,583. The district received dividends of $2,197.92 in 2024, and in 2023, a like dividend of $2,197.82. I would suggest that this go to instead of a direct bonus to the employees, goes to a fund where we can have the employees work safer by bringing in speakers, by providing more safety equipment as needed. And I think the dividends from the state fund will bolster that program. Like I said, our dividends received this year was $2,197. And our premium for next year is $4,583. It's not half.
I second that substitute motion.
Okay.
May I
It's
do a
been
little-
seconded, discussion.
Yeah. Oh, somebody seconded it?
Yes.
I think what you're saying here is well intended, it's terrific. The only problem is that Josh and I have no option. We have to have the safety training, we have to have the equipment. So them having 2 hard hats or 3 vests and that's not an option. So we're already covered there by
Safety shoes.
OSHA and not,
Safety shoes.
the city just put in, was it $250 a year towards, we can do something like that. But as far as we have no choice. The guys, when they leave here, they have to have the equipment on their truck, including safety shoes. But the shoes, they pay for them themselves. We can have a program like you get the safety shoe fund for the $244.
Years ago,
That's not bad.
Years ago, when I first started here, they used to do a clothing allowance of $100 where you could go buy pants and then they upped that to, I think, 150, and they said you could buy pants and boots, you had $150, you know, spend it how you want it, as long as they were,
That could be done,
See, and that could be done in that.
yeah.
We bring that up last year in regards to safety shoes, because that was a big contention again on this whole thing. The problem is you can't control what shoes or what they're gonna do with the shoes once they leave this area. So that was the reason why we made them buy their own shoes, because it was a personal item that they used the day. So that was the question that came forward. I really think that $244 more, you know, we're rewarding them for safety, so.
Well, we're not rewarding them for safety. The $43 million is a dividend from all the different classes, from all the different classes. Individual that came to work here, say, 3 months ago, did he contribute? Will he get to share? Should he get to share?
He would if you can buy shoes.
Yeah,
But
but, you know, that's what we're looking at.
I think, and then I won't talk anymore, because what happens is when you have a workman's safety problem, you have to report it to the government.
Right.
And then they know exactly what is going on, and if you're being penalized because you're not a safe district, that's different than somebody out of a whole pot than anybody else, and
We're
I see
in
where
a
you're.
whole, we're in a whole pot, we're not.
No, we still get checked, we still get rated according to our personal injury within this system. Am I wrong on that?
You were wrong. I asked.
They end up charging you more the next year,
Yeah,
but your rates don't go up because of that, it goes up because of the claim.
Right, but that's his point.
that's my
But
point.
it
That's
does-
his
because of
point.
claim.
We keep our rates
But
low
it's-
because we don't have accident.
It's the claim across the whole,
No,
Yeah, the experience rating here is very good, so we pay less.
The dividend that is paid is for the money that is invested in the state fund by all the shareholders. The district has money invested, and our return on our investment is that $2,197. That is a dividend. It's not a bonus for doing great, it's a dividend. And that should be, in my mind, should be applied to the premium. I mean, if we want to give a safety bonus, we could come up with, if you wanna put that money, I'd have no objection to throw that money into a pot and create a safety fund where if you work 5 years safe, you get $10 and you can go out and have a meal. Or if you work 20 years, you get a belt buckle. But that would maintain that you are responsible for yourself rather than the whole unit. Right.
Chair Boas, there's no clothing allowance at all for anybody, right?
Well, yes, we do some.
What is-
I
the
mean,
only,
not
well,
allowance,
just the
we
uniform, I
provide.
buy, when I buy them
T-shirts
shirts,
and stuff.
and I got them all the high-vis winter coats. But as far as, yeah, pants, shoes, no, but other, just
Yeah,
basic
but-
uniform stuff.
So gloves is one of the top safety features you can use on it. And working around mud and water, gloves don't last very long. So, and you can't buy gloves for, what, 15, 20
You
bucks?
can't buy gloves for
a pair.
$20 anymore.
So it wouldn't take long and you'd have this stuff used up if you had it in a fund like that.
I like your idea with the safety shoes, because safety shoes at $300-400.
Yep.
And you should see, and the whole state jump into it, full of water and
Yep.
everything. I mean, they look, you can't go anywhere with those shoes. So the environment is very unique. And safety shoes today is at least $300-400, right?
It depends on the boot.
Yeah, but we
Yeah.
gotta have steel-toed shoes, right?
You get a pair of whites with
Yeah.
steel
So
toes.
they have to
But if
be
you go,
rated,
yeah.
they have to be rated, and they have to bring the receipt to Josh, and he will compensate them for it. I like that idea. Or up to the $240.
Yeah,
You get a
well, you got the fund, when the
$244.
fund's gone, they don't get it anymore, they gotta wait till next year's fund.
Right.
You can also, as a district, go out and say you're gonna buy Red Wing, or you're gonna, whatever brand you choose, and ask them, what kind of deal can you make my employees?
Yeah.
Maybe they get 15–20% off.
We had a truck come by once a year, twice a year to our factory, and they pick out their shoes. They were free. They had to be this brand, had to be, so we had a deal with the shoe place, and they're all safety shoes.
So there's a lot of different ways. I know it's, when I looked at it, I originally thought that it was a reduction because we had worked safely, but it's not. If somebody gets hurt, it actually affects probably 3 years later,
The whole sector.
the whole sector.
But I thought you had an experience rating. You get a rating every
Yeah.
year. That's how we used to do it.
But it's
And you had an accident, boom, you paid for the next 3. So I do
The state
believe
funds
that our
us.
refunds reflects that we work safe. Correct, Josh?
That was my understanding.
But it's a dividend. It's not a refund for working state. It's a dividend on the pot of money that's invested by the state fund.
It came about in 2010, because our workers' comp funds were so expensive. I mean, there was just complaint after complaint after complaint. So I think they rewrote the law to keep bringing down the rate. So Doug is correct. It came about because of the past history at the state level.
So,
Not because the workers' comp board didn't wanna charge premiums.
Right. Exactly.
well, they call it a premium.
I was gonna call for a question, but with Greg, we didn't get 75%.
I'll call for public comment.
Yeah, a comment.
Go ahead.
So ultimately, what could be my bonus, whatever refund, whatever you'd like to call it word-wise, would go to their shoes.
Well, you can get army boots.
Oh, yeah, that sounds great.
That was gonna be my
But
comment.
ultimately, the money that would be separated
It
between
would be
all
the
7,
city
8,
people.
9 of us would then go to the men's shoes.
If there's something safety related around the I'm serious, if there's something safety related around the office, you would come to Bo and say, is there money for this? We cannot put in the policy pencils. Pencils have to be number 2. They have to have an eraser. It's not gonna be that kind of policy. It's gonna be safety related. So
Right.
if you have something safety
I
related,
still have like 2 minutes left. Ultimately, their boots cost $200, $300, $400, and there's $244 per person to go buy boots. And they're wearing their boots every freaking day and using them for their purpose of work. And that money that would ultimately be spread amongst all of us would go to just them and save them $200 and some a year because they're not having to purchase their boots by themselves.
let's
I have to buy my boots, I have to buy my shoes, and trust me when I tell you that my expense for shoes costs a hell of a lot more than their boots every day.
well, especially if you're gonna get safety told, because they have to be
Oh, no, I said
safety
mine cost
approved.
more.
They have to be approved. So, we're not cutting women out of anything. We can have women operators. They would get the same thing.
I'm not talking about just women, I'm talking about the office staff.
The office staff, you know, if you're gonna get down, Josh, if he's gonna get down into a trench, yes, he could put. have
He wears his
pair of
safety boots every day,
boots. Yeah.
the
But
same.
I think what her point is the equity of the distribution would not be the same between, like, her and Susie. Their safety needs for the
Are
office
way
are
less, but their premium on a workman's comp is way less too. They're falling to a different classification. And that is the gospel truth. Bo falls into a different,
Yeah,
because
I like
of the
to-
time he spends in
I
the.
like to exclude myself from this, and I tried to. Workman's comp really is not where I fit in.
So, without any further discussion, I think we'll take a vote. Will you roll call or?
Can you
Mr.
repeat what
Reed,
the motion
will you
is?
plead it?
Motion is rather than, it's a positive motion to take our Montana State Fund dividend and move it to a safety equipment program for the employees. And if you do a roll call, please.
Greg,
No,
Pam,
Yes.
Jeff,
No,
Tom,
No,
Ming,
No,
Frank,
Yes.
Doug.
Yes. Motion dies.
So the underlying motion is rejecting.
Unless there's a motion to revert back.
it's on the floor.
it's,
You gotta
it's back
vote.
on the floor.
You gotta
It's a
vote on
substitute.
rejecting.
The motion that was on the floor that you substituted
To
for is
not-
still on the floor.
and that was to reject.
That
To
was to
reject.
reject.
So we'll just do another roll call vote.
Greg,
no,
Pam,
Yes.
Jeff,
No,
Tom,
No,
Ming,
No,
Frank,
Yes.
Doug.
Yes.
Dies.
Motion passes.
No.
No, it
dies.
does now.
No, it passes because it
disapprove.
was disapproved.
Yeah, motion passes and disapprove.
all right.
Yeah.
the proper motion would be to reverse the vote and pass the resolution without objection.
It passed as to disapprove. It was a positive vote to disapprove.
No, it failed.
Yes, it was.
So it passed.
You wanna do
It
that
passed.
What you're saying is,
The
to
resolution.
What
clarify,
Jeff is saying is correct.
to clarify that it was,
will you please restate
There
the
were-
motion, please? That way we got it right.
What was the yes and what was the no, Jim?
Yes, yes,
They-
yes, yes, and then the other three no. To
So
disapprove.
there was 4 yes.
No,
Yes.
there were four
No,
no's.
no, no, and yes.
There was
So yeah,
no-
the other way
no.
around.
4 no's,
To
3 yes.
disapprove, so it's
So
essentially
the motion
4
failed.
approved.
No, the motion,
No means we're not
No,
gonna
remember that
we're
when,
not gonna
disapprove.
right, so there's
that means
nothing
we're
on the
to-
floor.
It's not-
That's right.
I
So
moved
that means
it.
it gets divided up.
Yes,
I make
No,
a
we have to have
motion,
a motion to approve the state fund if it's gonna do anything.
So
And
we
that
make
has
another
not
motion.
been made.
I make a motion to approve resolution 45, 2020.
Second?
Been moved by Tom, seconded by Jeff. Discussion again. Public comment. Roll call vote.
Greg,
yes,
Pam,
No.
Jeff,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes,
Ming,
yes.
Frank,
No.
Doug.
No. Motion passes, and the employees will get that, and there will have to be tax withheld on that. Yep. Now, next month, no,
January 15th
will be our
regular meeting.
regular meeting. And unless there is a need for a work session, and we have, the work session may be called because of the fact that we have our audit, and that needs to be approved, does it not? Did it need to be
yes.
approved by December 31st?
by December 31st, the financial statement must be filed with the state. The district is usually used as the audit.
Right. And we have the audit in front of us.
So moved.
What are you moving?
To approve it, that way you don't have to come back
Oh,
till 15th.
We can do that right now?
Yeah, I gave you the highlights. I had the draft here last month, I gave you the highlight
Oh.
in my monthly report.
Because that was not on the agenda.
Yeah, I don't think we can vote on it.
So, the interesting is,
So we're not going
because
to,
that's what really helped me.
we can't
I could
do
never get
this.
over it without.
Can you make a motion that this be
Oh,
filed as our financial statement with the state, so that it's done timely?
Yeah.
Well, he was late this year with his report, and I had a tough time to
Always.
get it for this meeting.
There is a state requirement that the annual financial report be filed by
Yeah, 'cause
December
it's long.
31st. Well, I'd love to make a motion that we file this as our annual financial statement
But
with
we
the
should
state.
use this bill.
I second that.
We can now file our audit, as long as it's filed
Yeah.
before June, then we're covered. But if we file this as our financial statement now,
Well, I know.
we
you-
have now a financial
Like with the heavy pots,
responsibility
there were
with
some
the
people
state
that
to have
actually
a
got some brain
financial
infection.
statement filed by the end of the year.
And
We have until June to file our audit.
I think Dan Clark told us that we could file a motion, a verbal
Yeah.
motion.
All I'm saying is file this as our financial statement for the year. And that is our
Yeah.
audit, that is our
Well, I just
financial
left it
statement.
where I was convinced of it.
Once it's approved, it can be filed as our audit, and that doesn't have to be done until June.
But it's-
And not only that, if it's not possible,
I mean,
we
but
can
it was-
deal
yeah,
with it.
it was,
Yeah,
But,
yeah,
you know,
it's just a financial statement.
that's his thought, you know, if it isn't,
So,
he
did
can
you,
do it.
did anybody second your motion?
I did.
Well, you're losing half of the board here, so.
I'm not gonna
Motion,
vote on it, cause it wasn't on the agenda.
motion on the floor to meet state requirements is to file what we have just received, our financial audit,
Without review.
without review, yes.
File it as our financial statement, which must be filed by December 31st. We're filing it as a financial
So
statement.
what's the penalty if we don't?
God, I don't know, but it's huge.
No, it's-
No, it is.
It was like
There is
$100
none.
and it was.
Yeah, there is, because
That's
the
what you can
audit
do,
company
is
we
find
had
the,
2 years ago paid
do
it
the
every
motions.
month because it
and
wasn't
then
done.
if it's not acceptable, I will talk to Dan Clark about it. I will talk to Dan Clark tomorrow and see if it was okay.
I don't think you actually have to file the audit. I think there's just a statement that you,
This
I
is
know
a
you have to
financial
file the
statement.
audit eventually, but
Yeah.
I think by December 31st, it's a,
The
Smaller.
financial,
Financial
yeah,
statement.
just the the audit
Okay.
doesn't have to be done till June.
okay.
If we
Yeah.
file this as our financial statement, if we need to change it as an audit, we don't file it until June, we're still legal and we're not paying penalties. When we didn't use Summers McKay, I can't remember the name of the company,
Anderson's.
they were late, and they know we're not late,
In
the
this
audit
state-
don't have to
this
be done
state-
until June. But
As
they
this is the
paid
last
the
meeting of the
penalties.
year,
Over $1,000 a month.
and our accountant did not give us this information until this week, today, we have no, I'll take the blame. I mean, it was not posted, but this is something that has to be done.
Well,
And I'm not going to ask the board to come back for another meeting and publicly post it for something that was just released.
So,
I will take the penalty and I'll pay the damn thing out of my own pocket.
How about we meet a week from today?
No. Yeah, that's right, meet on Christmas.
Or another week after
Absolutely.
that.
I'll be coming
New
down the
Year's Eve.
chimney.
Where you're
Bring the Christmas bonus with you while you're at it.
If you would go along with the motion, I would very much appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
what's the motion?
You made it.
You made it.
To file this as our
Financial
Yes.
statement, I second it.
All in favor, please signify by saying
Aye.
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 Opposed, Pam.
Nay.
yeah,
I'm not
What's
going
that?
to,
yeah.
it's another month
I'm
if
not
we
saying
even
that,
try.
I don't think it requires a vote to file it.
Did Mr. Clark say anything about having like an emergency situation,
Yeah.
a timely,
Yeah.
that you
Yeah.
could just go ahead and do
Yeah,
That's what
things?
he
except you
said.
can do it
Exactly.
virtually.
You
And
left
I will
too soon.
verify it
I know.
tomorrow, report back
I'm
to
sorry.
me.
She got bored.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
had another
No,
great
no.
meeting to go to.
Well, we adjourn.
We are
I mean,
adjourned.
I don't
Hey,
care when
before you
Yeah.
leave, thank you very much on behalf of the staff and Hudson Water.
I read through the
Appreciate your overtake.
Okay.
Yeah, they're overpaid.
Well, of course, we have the right of-
That's all right, long time subscriber, so.
Okay.
Yeah, anyway, yeah, I appreciate what you do.
I don't know how long I'll keep on doing it, but
So wait, you don't get as many choices.
Well, it's still